All right, guys, so I'm going to do something a little bit different this time. I'm going to use Chat GPT to output a more visual representation of a problem. So in a previous video, I asked Chat GPT a question. I said, hey, I have a 10-foot wall, and I want to hang 3 paintings on that wall, such that they're evenly distributed on the wall. Now, there are 2 problems. One, it wasn't necessarily clear from that question what I wanted it to do. So because there was no visual representation, it was just text, it was a little confusing for the reader, i.e. the person watching the video. And 2, the output was only partially correct. Part of the text output gave me the right answer, but part of it did not. So what I did is come up with this. I said, I'm going to ask you to output some text. When I say to output a section, please represent that section with a dash or dashes and bars, where each dash represents 1 foot, and the bars are used to denote the edge of the section. When I say output a wall with 3 sections, 1 foot, 3 foot, and 4 foot, it should output this. When I say output a 9-foot wall with 2 paintings that are evenly distributed, please output this, where it says I have 3 feet, 3 dashes, the painting, 3 dashes, a painting, and 3 dashes. Write the output in a code block, okay? So let's see what it decides to output given this information. All right, here we go. Is this what you're looking for? Let me know. Yep, that's the yes. Yes, that is what I'm looking for. I'm going to say, now, can you output a 10-foot wall with 2 sections? All right, let's see what it comes up with here. And remember, the goal here is to have a more visual representation of the output to show that sometimes the math that it's doing is not correct. So let's see what it does. Sure, here's a 10-foot wall with 2 sections. Okay, so, that's actually might be correct. I didn't say that I wanted 2 sections, okay, that were equal. Now, can you do the same thing, but each section should be of equal length? So it actually, again, it did a 9-foot section and a 1-foot section because I was not clear in my question as to what I wanted it to do. Sure, to create a 10-foot wall with 2 sections of equal length, we would do the following. All right, so now we can see that's not correct, all right? This example, each section is 5 feet long, which means the total length of the wall is 10 feet. Well, okay, so we can clearly see that we have 3, 3, and 1, which is equal to 7. So we can say, okay, that is not correct. It should have had 2 sections, and you output 3. Each section should have been 5 feet long, okay? So let's kind of teach it what it did wrong, right? We're not just accepting failure here. We're letting it know that it made a mistake, and we're having it fix the mistake. All right. See what it does here. Still not correct. Still not correct. So again, this is pointing out why, why you have to be careful with these types of tools. The correct answer should have been this. Let's actually teach it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bar. I apologize for the mistake to create a 10-foot wall with 2 sections of equal length. Boom. All right, now that's correct. But we had to explicitly tell it, right? We had to explicitly tell it. So now let's maybe it's learned. Maybe we've kind of gone through this conversation. It will work. Okay, now output a 12-foot wall with 2 equal sections. Okay, so each section should be 6 dashes. Let's see what it does. To create a 12-foot wall with 2 sections of equal length, we would do the following. All right, well, I count 5 dashes. You have 5 dashes per section. It should be 6 dashes. So clearly it's really struggling to do math here, which is, again, something I have a whole video about, how you want to be very careful when you're having something like this do math. All right, so create a 12-foot wall with 2 sections. All right, so that's correct. How about an 8-foot wall with 2 sections? But again, I didn't necessarily specify I want them to be equal, so it would also be correct if this output had a section with 1 foot and a section that was, 7 feet. And that's correct. So we have 4 and 4, which equals 8. So now we have this doing what we wanted, okay? So now let's say, okay, output a wall, let's say, 12-foot wall with 3 paintings that are evenly distributed on the wall. Okay, so let's see if throughout this entire conversation will it get this correct. To create a 12-foot wall with 3 paintings evenly distributed on the wall, we would have to do this. And let's see, that looks correct. We have 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. That equals 12. So, and let's read the explanation. In this example, each section is 4 feet long, which means that the total length of the wall is 12 feet. Each dash represents 1 foot, and the bars and squares brackets represent the edges of the section and the paintings respectively. But clearly, the output does not match the text. Right? It said each section is 4 feet long. Well, each section is actually 3 feet long. So let me just tell it that. And again, the purpose of this video, one more time, was that I wanted to show that visually it had the correct output, but the text does not necessarily match it, right? So your output in the code block was correct, but your answer, your written answer, was not. You said each section was 4 feet when in fact each section is 3 feet. Okay? So I don't know necessarily what it's going to do here with this information. I specifically told it to correct the written answer, but not the visual answer. And again, this is all on the fly, so we'll see what it outputs, and maybe it will fix its answer. All right, so it drew the correct picture, and it's now outputting the correct text, right? But again, the reason I wanted to do this was to show that you can't always trust what it's outputting, especially when you're asking it to do math. It's not good at math right now. It's a language model. So I wanted to kind of make a follow-up video to discuss different ways you can visually represent your problems to kind of see and help yourself debug what it's doing. And I wanted to be clear that in the future, these are going to get better. These tools are going to get better. There will be, new features of AIs like this that will be better at math. But be careful going forward and always verify the answers that these things give you. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video.